Do you guys want to hear my impression of the beginning of the Sword and Scale podcast? They have a disclaimer guy.
I'm not going to recognize this, but I'm going to act like I do.
Sword and Scale. Oh shit! I can't do it now. Sword and wait, fuck. Can I do it privately? Sword and Scale. Sword and Scale contains violence and adult theme. Nah, it didn't. I was cracking Cody up with it. See, that's the thing. I did it once right.
One more
now
time.
I can't do it.
Try it again.
Sword and Scale. Sword and Scale. Sword and Scale contains violence and adult themes. Sword and Scale contains violence and adult themes. Now, I'm Aaron Mankey, and this is Lore. Podcast impressions. Karina Longworth had something interesting to say about Otto Preminger. This is the story of MGM and Charles Manson.
I was wondering if we could all try and do maybe a little bit of Ira Glass.
Is Charles Manson about to die?
Yes.
Did he already die?
It's close. Very close, I hear.
Are people upset about that? People seem upset.
The weird thing will be, does Charles Manson, by virtue of our culture's well-justified penchant for irony and going lateral or correcting as we go, will Charles Manson get a worse or better Viking funeral than Hugh Hefner? Like, Hugh Hefner got fucking blasted. Like, he lived 15 years too long. Like, if he had died 15 years ago, which so many people that knew him and were in the same room with him argue that he did, that it would have just been your usual, like, he would have gotten that eulogy you'd expect of, like, he was an iconoclast and a rebel millionaire that changed the culture, blah blah blah. It's like he hung on so long that he got to see, like, oh yeah, see you later, you fucking monster.
Hadn't he sold the mansion but was still living in the mansion?
That was part of the
deal. He put the mansion up for sale with the odd caveat on the price tag that he was allowed to live there till he died.
Small contingency clause.
And now the guy said he's going to reunite both properties because it used to be one huge super mansion.
Oh, really?
Isn't that crazy?
I've never been there. It seems to me like it would be a bummer.
It's a bummer.
There are parties out there and be like, it's going to be at the Playboy Mansion. I'm always like, that's fucking bummer.
It was a bummer.
Yeah.
It was a bummer.
I was there once. Yeah. I think it only smelled like mildew because it was raining, and so they did something they don't normally have to do, which is because it was an outdoor on the lawn courtyard party or something, and they had to unroll awnings that I think they just rolled up since the last time it rained, and so the whole place smelled like your grandpa's sleeping bag.
Yeah. And the buffet was sort of weird looking, sad, kind of like bad hotel-y. Did you get that?
Yeah. I mean,
Mar-a-Lago.
More Princess Cruise Lines. Just dark.
That's where my famous David Hasselhoff story takes place. Me and Schraub, where we harassed David
at the
Hasselhoff.
Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And we walked up to him and said we were just high off our asses, and we were like, we have to talk to David Hasselhoff, and we go, hey. We made a pilot, and it's about you. It's inspired by you. And he's like, you made a pilot about me? And we were talking about Heat Vision and Jack. We're like, yeah, it was directed by Ben Stiller, and it was called Heat Vision and Jack, and it was very inspired by Knight Rider, and so. And he's like, Ben Stiller, what else did he direct? And Schraub said, Zoolander. Why that was his from the, and then David Hasselhoff just like processing all of this, like cocks his Hasselhead, and then goes, Zoolander's about me. And then Schraub and I just like we were at a beat, and we both went yes, and then just walked away.
That's awesome. I'm sure he might still think that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we were like,
Tells people
we
that.
were like cracking up. Like we weren't trying to like punk him, but we were just like we were too high to be talking to anybody. Much less we did a bad job, so at least we turned that into a story. And now the only real victim of this story is going to be David Hasselhoff's lawyer, because that guy got a 3 a.m. phone call. Like, I want you to like look into the Zoolander, more like Zoolander, because I'm hearing that movie's about me.
Hasselhoff, like at every party, has to endure like so many people like just stoned. Like, we have to talk to Hassel. Literally, it's just a barrage of people. Like,
and unfortunately for him, he's so hard to find in a crowd because he's only 7'0".
Is he really?
He's so tall. I mean, it's like Tim Robbins, John Cusack, David Hasselhoff. They're like in an industry where everyone's shocked to find out that everyone's 5'3".
Yeah,
like you and I are tall guys, relative to these these tiny little fucking
guys.
Keebler Toll House
elves.
fucking
Vince
Toll
Vaughn.
House elves.
Vince Vaughn's super tall as well.
Vince Vaughn, yeah, he's tall.
Conan.